I just didn't like things she was, her hanging out, her drinking, stuff like that. So,
So you commented?
One of the reasons why I was moving was because of her, because she'd be banging on my door 5, 6 in the morning.
This is the plaintiff, Raven Cooper. She says the defendant is her father, and he foolishly put her washer and dryer on the street for her to pick up. But by the time she got there, they were stolen. Her father made a poor decision by placing her appliances on the curb for all the world to steal, and father or no father, she's here suing him for the $1,000 he owes her. This is the defendant, Dwayne Cooper Sr. He says his daughter left the appliances at his house for 2 years. He told her on numerous occasions to retrieve her belongings because he didn't have room for them, but she never did. Bottom line, he needed to leave the house. He put the washer-dryer in his backyard and has no idea what happened to them. He's accused of not being too fatherly.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, father-daughter,
Yes.
you had a washer and dryer in your possession.
Yes.
And you were moving to a place where there was no hookup.
Right.
All right, did you get rid of the washer dryer or what'd you do with it?
I gave it to I told my dad to hold it, and he lived maybe like 3 minutes, 4 minutes from where I resided. So
you told him to hold it or you told him to install it in his place?
I told him, well, it was okay for him to use it. But it was to hold. It was to hold until my landlord put the washing machine and dryer.
Which was supposed to happen when?
He told me about a year.
Okay, so in any event, so you asked your dad to hold it for how long?
Just until the landlord was able to do what.
And how was it that you were able to take the washer? Where'd you get the washer dryer, by the way?
I got it from a used like a.
So, and how long had you had it?
I had it for maybe like 2 years.
Okay, so now you are moving from the place. You lived at that place for how long?
About 3 years.
Yeah. All right. So what happened? I'm gonna leave it with you for a year, Dad. What happened with that? Like, how did 3 years happen?
The landlord didn't do what he was supposed to do.
Can I ask you a question? I see a Facebook message that you send your dad saying, "I want my money. I want my washer dryer" in 2016. That's fresh when you had just asked him to hold it. So why were you sending that?
Because the agreement was that he was going to allow me to wash me and my kids' clothes. So eventually, like soon after he got it, the washing machine and dryer, and was using it, it seemed as if like I started to get funny reactions to try to use it myself. He started complaining about his water bill. He started telling me, I could only wash it on Sundays. So I was already like very upset that I made the decision to give it to him.
So do you two have a good relationship?
No, we don't.
Okay. Did you ever have a good relationship?
Yes, we did.
Okay. When did the relationship go this sour?
Recently.
Over this? For a washer dryer?
Not
An old
over this
used
at all.
washer dryer?
Not over this at all, no.
Okay. What did it go sour over?
As a father, you expect so much from your daughter, and she felt that, how can I say it? I just didn't like things she was, her hanging out, her drinking, stuff like that. So,
So you commented?
One of the reasons why I was moving was because of her, because she'd be banging on my door 5, 6 in the morning, where the whole 3-family house could hear. So I was moving way before, because of this, because she was annoying.
Okay.
Also, I did give her a chance to use the washer at the house. She used it several times. She used to pop up at any time and say, I want to use it, I want to use it. That's when I said, we have to come up with some type of schedule.
All right, let me ask you a question. When you decided to move, did you tell her, come and get your washer dryer?
Yes, I did.
All right, when did you tell her that?
I told her boyfriend at least 3 weeks. He seen me taking stuff. He says, Dad, I didn't know you was moving that soon. I said, yes, I'm getting out of here. So I told her 3 weeks ahead of time. Then I told her a week before that.
Wait, that's you telling the boyfriend, yes, I'm moving. When do you tell her, take your things?
A week before and the day I would move.
Did you actually speak to her a week before?
I did.
And?
And I told her, she said, okay. I guess they had a problem getting a truck or something.
Okay, how do you know that?
Because that's what I was told. That's what she told me.
Who told you that?
My daughter.
All right, and then the day you're moving, what happens?
I paid someone to help me move it up out of my basement. I put it on the side of the house, the back of the house, I'm sorry, where no one usually take it. If you put your furniture up front, then it's for free. People come get it.
Right.
So I put it in the back, and I left it there.
Was it under?
It was under a blue.
Was it covered?
Yes, it was. It had a blue tank.
And is
over
it a fenced-in yard or no?
No.
Okay. So you leave it there, and what do you reach out to her again?
Yes, I do.
How do you reach out to her that time?
I spoke to her over the phone.
And what'd you tell her?
I says that I have to go. I'm moving. You have to come get your stuff. She says, okay. She didn't come that day she's supposed to come. She came the following day and called me up and says, it's not there. I says, I left it there. You know, I'm very sorry. I left it there.
And then you feel that for a washer and dryer that you paid $400 for in 2014, that you should get $1,000 in 2020.
Well, no, I just feel that I should be compensated, and that the hookup that I have now, it only will allow a stackable.
Well, that's a you
because
problem.
I don't have,
if it only allows a stackable,
Yeah.
then I guess you need yourself a stackable. I mean, that's not. So what? Let me ask you a question. Your version of this is what?
my version is I wasn't given enough notice.
What notice were you given?
The day that he put it out on the curb, that was the notice I got. To come
Who
get
did you get that notice
My
from?
dad. I spoke to him the same day he called me.
And he said, I put it on the curb?
He said it's outside to go get your...
Okay, so he didn't say curb.
Right, but...
Okay.
That was the only notice. That's the only time
And then you went to get it when?
I came to get it that same day. That same day, I was very, very stressed out.
How did you get a truck so fast?
I contacted so many people. I ended up having a friend ask her dad. And
Okay.
her dad...
So you brought the truck, all that, you did all that in one day, and then you went over there and it was missing already.
And it was already gone. I called him then that same day, and I said, it's I don't see it. And he's explaining to me where it is. And I'm telling him, I don't see it. I don't see it. I honestly...
He says he called you a week beforehand and that he spoke to your man a month beforehand.
No. We didn't even know that that was the day that he was moving. When I got the phone call, my stuff was already outside. I'd never had a chance.
Okay, but you knew he was moving.
I didn't. He said he was moving, but you don't really know.
I know. So what hustle do you engage in to get your property out of there that you've had stored there for 3 years? If you knew the man was moving, it's because he told you he was moving. So what did you think was going to happen?
You don't really know that. He told me he had moved. He wasn't even staying there. He supposedly was staying in Southbury.
All the more reason for you to get your washer dryer out of there. How do you figure that something worth $400 in 2014 is worth, even $200 in 2020?
Well, I just figured that if I had my washing machine and dryer, I would be able to use it and wash
Right. So
my
the
kids'
question
clothes.
would be, at best, the question for this court would be, if you're right and it's his fault it's missing, which I'm not sure you are, when would the value of it have increased from 2014 to, because all you, stop, listen, if he still had it, what you'd have is the depreciated value of something you bought for $400 6 years ago. You understand that?
Right, I understand.
So what's that worth? What do you think you could sell that for?
Yeah, I totally
A peanut,
understand.
So it would never be what you're saying. So I've seen the text afterwards, and I see how testy things got. And I'm sure that in your mind you feel, look, you're my father. You should have watched out for me more. And in his mind, he feels you're kind of entitled. And why are you talking to me like that? You're telling me I owe you as opposed to will you help me? And it's kind of sad if there was at one point, there was a good relationship between you guys that, I certainly hope it's something more than a washer dryer that led to whatever the problem is. What is the problem?
Oh, at this point, I'm more so just bothered because my washing machine and dryer is what's needed. The agreement was to hold on to it. I was gonna get it back. I need a washing machine and dryer because my kids go to a school.
Yeah, you're telling me things I don't. You know,
Okay,
listen.
well,
You need a washer dryer because every human needs one. The thing.
well,
So the problem that we have here is, were you justified in just waiting and waiting and waiting until it's convenient for you? You've got nowhere to put this stuff. You've got nothing to. So you just keep waiting because you don't think he's going to put it out. But he is going to put it out. It's not a problem until it becomes a problem, right? And then all of a sudden he calls you, and according to you, I hustled, got a truck, and it was missing. According to him, you didn't call him back until the next day, which was when?
It was after May sometime. We also were employed at the same place. So
Wait. You're employed at the same place those whole 30 days we're talking about?
that's what I'm trying to explain.
Okay, so what I'm trying to explain to you is, if you get wind of the fact that he's moving and you know your
That's
stuff
what
is
I'm-
there, what you said, I knew he was moving, I didn't know what day.
There was no actual date.
Then why don't you turn around and ask him, listen, I got to get my washer dryer. What day are you moving? How about that? Because we know that the end of the month is coming.
Yeah, it
All right,
wasn't.
listen, I'm finding in this case, based on the facts that are in front of me, in favor of the defendant. I don't believe that he owes you something because you didn't make it your business to figure out when he was moving. And or, worse than that, he actually told you, take the thing, and you still didn't get your act together. I'm finding in favor of the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So in this daughter versus father lawsuit, the daughter has lost. The judge found against you. What are you thinking?
I think that it's terrible that he's allowed to put my stuff outside and not be compensated for it. So to me, that's just not right. It's not. You should pay for something that was lent and you was holding.
The judge said the onus was on you to get it, and you just didn't get there in time to get it. And let me ask you another question now. What's this going to do to your relationship between you and
Well,
father?
we weren't talking already, and I just feel that he knows he's responsible for the washer and dryer. So, he should compensate for that.
Look, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about this relationship you have with your father. Was it tough to sue him? Was it hard for you to do that?
It was, but it's because, what's right is right, and it's not fair.
Well, the judge said you're wrong. Okay? Just so you know. So you lost. All right, Mr. Cooper. Your daughter's still upset, but anyway, you won the case.
Yes, sir.
You know? Step over here. So what are you thinking about this whole thing? Were you surprised to have her sue you?
Very much so.
Shocked, probably. Huh?
Very much so. I didn't think I raised her that way.
Yeah. So what happens now?
Well, I guess after everything cools down, I'll reach out to her.
Are you still working together in the same company?
No.
Well, good luck to you. Okay,
Thank you
no
very
one
much.
likes to see a father-daughter split up like this,
Yes, sir.
especially over washing machines. My God. All right, thank you very much. All right, Harvey, what do you think?
So, Doug, this is pretty simple. The defendant told the plaintiff numerous times to pick up the washer and dryer. She didn't. It was abandoned. End of story. That'll do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
These are the plaintiffs, Kathleen Goya Jedney and Zachary Jedney. Kathleen says they hired the defendant to undercoat her son's truck as a Christmas present. They paid the defendant in cash. He never did any work to the truck, and his promises of returning their money mean nothing. That's right. He keeps saying the check is in the mail. It never is, and they're suing this crook for the $850 they're owed. This is the defendant, Paul DiPietro. He says the plaintiffs are impatient people who don't understand a job like theirs could take a few days at least to be completed. Kathleen flipped out on him when she showed up one day and the truck hadn't been started. He never gave her a time frame. She can't have her money back because he already purchased the materials and she needs to just chill out. He's accused of not getting things started.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant was hired to undercoat their son's truck, but he never did the job. Now, supposedly, he sent them a refund, but they never received a penny. The defendant says they took the truck back before he even had a chance to start it. So tough. It's the case of the checks in the mail.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi.
So the gentleman next to you is?
My son.
All right, and so for Christmas, what'd you get him?
I was attempting to get him undercoating, a protective undercoating, to protect under his truck from
What
rusting.
kind of truck do you have?
He has a Ford F-350.
Do you have a tongue?
Well, yeah,
What kind of truck do you have?
I have 350.
Okay, and how did you guys conclude that that's what it needed? Like, what made you feel like it needed that?
Well, I was just going to buy a new truck, but then I figured I'd get the undercoating to save some money for a little bit.
Okay, because that does what? It makes the undercoating makes it last longer?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So how did you find the defendant?
I found him on Facebook Marketplace. He had a ton of ads out. And
Okay, did he have any reviews?
yeah, he had some reviews.
I don't even trust those reviews anyway.
Well,
I mean, I know what I would do if I had a business. I'd have like 100 of my favorite friends write great things. But when I see 5 reviews, I'm like, oh, they don't even have friends.
Yeah.
But anyway, so who takes the truck in?
Zach took the truck
And
in.
so tell me about what happens. What day do you take the truck in?
I took the truck in December 12th, which was a Thursday.
And what did you say and what did he say?
I dropped it off. We went in. He was going to write me a receipt, but he didn't have any receipt books, so he wrote it on a piece of paper because he said he had a ton of other trucks he was doing at a different shop.
Okay, go on.
And I paid him in full because I was leaving for Maine for the weekend to pick up a new snowmobile. And
Okay, you never pay anybody in full. Ever, 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 never, ever pay somebody more than they're asking for. Why? Because now you have to sue for the whole thing. You're out the whole thing. You're out double what you needed to be out because I'm sure he only asked for a deposit or didn't ask for anything. What did he ask for?
deposit.
Yeah. How much did he ask for?
I believe it was half the work or paid
Yeah.
full.
That's usually what people ask for, maybe even less. So it's Thursday, December 12th, and then what happened?
Friday, he was supposed to do the work. Marcy, it had to be, I think, a day to dry and get prepped, or
Wait, who told you he was going to do the work Friday?
the defendant.
He told you, I'll take care of this tomorrow.
Yeah, and we can pick it up Saturday.
Okay. Now, is pickup Saturday anywhere on the receipt?
No.
Okay, that's another piece of advice I want to give you. When time is of the essence, make sure you write it on, the contract between you guys. Go ahead.
And then Saturday came, he said he couldn't do the work. It would have to stay another day. So Sunday, I got back Saturday night. So Sunday we went after lunch, and he texted me saying the work wasn't done yet,
Okay.
and he wanted the truck for a couple more days, but
And you said?
no.
Okay. When did you pick it up?
Sunday, probably 2:00.
Okay. Now, let me hear from you.
Okay, good morning, Your Honor. First of all, the undercoating process is not going to your local shop and just having it sprayed with something you buy from Advanced Auto or whatever they buy it from. Our process is a 2 to 3 day process, maybe 4 days. That's being quick. I mean, we have to scrape the truck, we sandblast the truck, we then have to power wash it off, we then prime it. Priming has to fully cure. Then
Well, how long does it take to fully cure?
it takes 4 to 6 hours for the primer.
Okay.
But the undercoating could take absolutely up to 8 to 12 hours because it depends actually on the weather, believe it or not. If it's like raining outside or if there's any kind of moisture in the air.
Takes longer to dry.
Yeah, and we actually put 2 coats of undercoating on. So for it to fully cure, I can't put undercoating over wet undercoating. So what happens is it fully dries and
Okay,
gets
he
like.
testified that you told him it'd be ready for pickup Saturday.
Yeah, it's absolutely not true. I'd never. What I tell people is that it could take 3 to 4 days, but it could take even longer. Again, if it's dry and it's nice out.
Why would it take longer?
Because if it's raining out,
Yeah, but even if it's raining out, it wouldn't take that much longer.
it would take 12 hours.
Yeah, that's 12 hours
That's
longer.
another
That's
day, right? Now, in this case, I think if I can remember back, that we were overbooked that week. I believe he brought it in, like you said, on a Thursday. I've never met the mother, but I've been very cordial with the mother.
That's
and
nice, but what I have to determine is, did you or didn't you tell him that it'd be done in 2 days?
I wouldn't. I don't tell any of my customers it's to be done in 2 days because that's impossible. It's even on a good time, it's 3 days. It's just because.
Well, then what did you tell him it would take? Because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. The receipt doesn't say when he could pick it up.
Correct.
So why don't you put in the receipt,
Well,
it could take up to a week?
I've never done that. What I would tell the customers is, call me back in a couple of days. I'll give you an update on the vehicle. I believe they came down 3 days later and said, "That's it. We want our truck."
And what did you say to them?
I said to them, "I need more time." Sometimes we get backed up. Sometimes the weather, and there's different variables.
Yeah,
that
well,
take-
what was the delay, though, in this one?
We were booked up, and I believe it rained on Saturday.
And your lift broke, didn't it?
No.
No? Where did you get that his lift
Yeah.
broke?
He posted it on Facebook. He was looking
Can I
for,
see it?
He was looking for somebody to fix his lift because his lift broke, and that was posted on Friday, December 13th.
Does that sound familiar?
I mean, it could have been, Your Honor. I mean, it could have.
Right. So in other words,
Right,
it's not
that
that the
doesn't-
process takes longer. It's that
No,
you
it
were
does-
unable to do what, you know.
It does
what-
take longer, Your Honor.
Well,
I mean, if
it
you have
takes
to let-
much longer if you don't have a lift.
Correct.
And the lift was fixed when? The lift that you don't remember broke was fixed
No,
when?
I'm sure it could have been broke, Your Honor, but it was literally fixed within hours. I mean, I have a company that I bought the lift from that literally is in the same town that would come right over.
Okay. In your answer to the complaint, one of the things you say is you had already bought stuff to do
Correct.
this. Tell me
Right.
about that.
Okay, so there's two different undercoatings you can get. Okay, so there's like an undercoating that will come off in a year or two, and then there's a lifetime warranty undercoating. And so it's very expensive. So it's something that at that time we did not carry on hand. If somebody
Okay, I'm just going to stop you. I'm
Sure.
going to read from your answers.
Sure.
Zach paid me $850, and I don't remember if it was in cash or with a check, but I felt like co-plaintiff Kathleen was rushing me. So did you talk to her on the phone?
No.
You had said you never met her.
Right, I didn't meet her. I'm not sure that maybe he was rushing me.
I felt like co-plaintiff Kathleen was rushing me, so I went to a local store to buy the supplies I needed, which ended up being more expensive. I would have gone to my distributor, which would have been cheaper, but co-plaintiff Kathleen was already rushing me, and it would have taken even longer. Okay, what's that about?
Because, Your Honor, if I order directly from my distributor, I usually can get it, within a day to 2 days. So when they were calling me, telling me they needed it by Saturday, I believe they dropped it
So
off.
they did tell you that they needed it by Saturday.
He told me he needed it by Saturday,
so
correct?
he told you he needed it by Saturday.
Correct, and I couldn't.
And you took the job knowing that he needed it by Saturday.
No, that's not when I took the job.
Can you show me the proof that you bought those supplies? Do you have any of it?
You know what? After watching the show numerous amount of times, I knew you were going to ask me that. And yeah.
And?
Yeah, I know. December 12th, I had to go to a local store, which,
And you don't have the receipt.
of course not. I knew.
All right, so now, blah, 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 the lift issues were not taken care of. What day? I want to see it in your phone. Show me in your phone so I have a context and know the dates, because your screenshot doesn't have the date. Okay, on Sunday at 1:22, Zach, your truck is outside the shop. Unfortunately, the lift issues were not taken care of. Instead of rushing the job and not doing it right, I told them to hold off. I would rather do the job right than to do a hack job. Without the lift working properly, it just wouldn't be as good a job. They did try to bring it to a few other garages, but they were full. So we can do one of two things. We can reschedule for next weekend or any day that works for you. Lift company coming tomorrow to fix lift. So really any day after tomorrow, or we can cut you a refund check and send it out to you. I hope we can still do your truck for you. I apologize, but like I said, the truck would not come out as nice without the lift. Your truck is too nice to take a chance on. Hope you understand. Thanks, Zach. If you reschedule, I will give you back $100 due to the inconvenience. Okay, that's a lovely text.
Nice.
And I would probably leave the business with you based on that text. But they choose not to. And then he says, okay, can you send me a check for the refund? So you keep saying over and over again that you're going to refund. So what happened?
I do, Your Honor. Here's what happened. Like I
So
said.
that's only a really nice text if it's honest. If you weren't
Yeah.
planning on refunding, then it's not.
Well, I was planning on refunding them, just not the whole amount.
Well, that's
but-
not what your text said. But why you didn't
understand.
refund him a penny, right?
I understand. Right.
Right.
I agree
Why?
with you. Because I bought the products specifically for his truck. If
Right.
we're all being honest here in court,
Are we all being honest?
I am. I'm going to be right now.
Right.
Oh, I will be right now.
Now you're going to be honest.
Right
Okay,
now
good.
I will be.
Okay.
Yes. She had sent me a text about something about being, I won't trash your business or something. And then, I don't know, not to get into detail, but I do work for law enforcement for the state of Mass. And I got to be honest, it didn't sit well with me, Your Honor. We're a respectable business.
But according
We
to
do.
you, he sent you a text after that. Do you have that?
I do.
And what do they say? They don't say, this didn't sit well with me. How dare you impugn my
No.
character? They say,
No.
oh, yeah, I'm sending a check.
Actually, one of
One of them has a picture of cash.
Right.
So then it starts
Right.
to look like it's not that you're standing on Where did you think this was going to go?
I knew it.
It starts to look not like you're standing on principle because she bullied you. Do you work for law enforcement?
I did.
Yeah,
I
you
worked-
shouldn't be telling people that. But what it starts to look like is that you just don't have the cash flow. That's what it starts to look like.
Well, that's-
So, yeah, I know. So what's going to happen now is that you're going to refund to them their $850 plus their court costs. That is my judgment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So after a lengthy wait, filing a lawsuit, the plaintiffs are going to get their $850 back. Why didn't you send it to them?
I guess with the text messages and stuff like that, I probably should have sent it to them, but I'll be happy to pay them. And not only will I pay them, I'll be happy to still do his truck, and I will do it for absolutely free. And that's really what I extended the offer to his mother. And we will not only be happy to send him his check, which he'll take care of.
You have to now. There's a
Right,
judgment against
absolutely. But we'll also do his truck for free whenever he has time.
you. Well, we'll find out if they're willing to do that. But,
Sure.
But the question is, why didn't you send a check? You wouldn't be here in court if you did.
Correct. It should have been done.
I mean, it was a
wasn't
foul
done.
up on your part.
Absolutely. Correct. It was
Okay.
done.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
All right. Well, the plaintiffs are on their way out of court. What do you think about what he just said?
He has not been able to tell the truth from day one. I was prepared to give other names and from Manchester Police Department names of people that he did the same thing
had
to as
problem?
well.
Well, yeah, he's just offered to do your trick for free.
Yeah, I'm not going to bring it back.
You're not?
No.
Don't trust him?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Finally won your court
Thank you.
case and got your money. Harvey?
I got to tell you, Doug, it is so important. We've talked about this before to keep accurate, complete paperwork. If you're a business person, it would have helped this defendant a lot if it said in the paperwork how much time it would take to do the job. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Robert Gunderson. He says he rented a fully furnished apartment from the defendant, and a few months later he told him he had to move out because the house was being sold. The no-good defendant then made off with his security deposit. He refuses to return his money. There were no damages, and if anyone's wronged here, it's not the defendant. He's suing for $990, the amount of his stolen security deposit. This is the defendant, Frank Taylor. He says the plaintiff did indeed leave the apartment in shambles. He stole some routers, and he had to move the guy's old furniture out and hire movers to do so. He certainly doesn't owe this man a dime. It's all a wash, and he thinks the judge will wholeheartedly agree. He's accused of lousy landlording.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says he rented a fully furnished apartment from the defendant, but at a point, the defendant said the place had been sold. The plaintiff got kicked out and didn't get his security back. The defendant said that the plaintiff left the place a mess, and he even stole his routers. It's the case of being
Litigants have been sworn,
rerouted.
Anna.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, so you rented a one-bedroom from the defendant, and was this on a month-to-month basis, or did you have a lease?
This was a month-to-month basis, Your Honor. Yeah.
Okay. Were you living together, or this is a separate
It
apartment?
was
with
a
this-
separate apartment, so he converted his basement into a separate apartment.
Okay.
And I moved in on the first, and there was no issue there.
And then you're living there, and then when do you get wind that there's a problem?
It wasn't until a couple months after that.
And what happens?
He mentioned in passing something about an old bat, and I didn't really understand what he was saying.
What do you mean an old bat? What did he say?
He just said, hey, if you see an old bat, tell her your family. So I said, okay, I don't really understand what that means. I mean, I didn't say that whole thing. I just said, okay. I thought it was his sister or something like that. Yeah, so that was when he first mentioned it, but there was no issue until, I guess it was early December, that I woke up one morning and there was somebody coming down from his apartment into my apartment. It was an older woman, I mean, not that old, 50, 60 or something like that.
Yeah, that's not that old.
Yeah.
Caught yourself, didn't you?
Yeah.
Caught yourself right at the.
I mean, yeah,
All right, go on.
So yeah, this some woman, she was coming into my apartment and she had two men that she was showing the apartment to, and she said, "Hey, how's it going? I'm showing the apartment." So I said, "Okay."
Had anybody told you got to go?
No.
You had no idea?
I had no idea. Nobody.
And this was when? December what?
I don't know the day. I could look at my text to find, because.
Yeah, do that, because I'd like to know what day that happened. Take a
Okay.
second and do that.
Yeah, 'cause-
So who owns it while you're doing that? Who owns that place?
I was buying the house from a woman and the deal fell through. She changed her mind, and then
So you were a renter yourself.
I was renting, and I subleased it to, help
Okay.
pay the bills.
And did you have authority to sublease it
Yeah,
without
she
her?
didn't have a problem. But,
didn't care.
And then I think she has a little bit of dementia or something. She doesn't remember things. So all of a sudden, it was all new to her, and we had this.
What? I'm not following you.
Well, she all of a
I do
sudden
not
she
have
changed her
dementia.
mind.
I just don't follow
She
you.
just wanted to sell it to somebody else, and I don't exactly know what happened. So she dropped it on me. That all of a sudden the deal went through.
Okay,
and
look how deals work. There's a contract and there's a deposit and all that. Did you have a contract?
We were friends, and it was just kind of a.
Well, you can't.
verbal.
There's no
It was-
such thing as a binding real estate contract that isn't
Yeah.
in writing. So you wanted to buy it, and it didn't go anywhere. It's not that she has dementia; it's that you didn't buy it.
No, but she didn't
that's all
remember
right.
our-
It doesn't
our
matter
deal.
to our case.
She changed her mind. So
Or she changed your mind. Okay, so but
She
you
has
didn't
the
have a
right.
contract that she changed your mind on. You don't have anything until you have a contract. Did you
Right.
find it?
No, because my flip phone, it doesn't store data that long ago. So the earliest I
The
have
better
is
question is why do you have a flip phone?
I have a flip phone because I'm on parole and I'm not allowed to use the internet because
Oh,
of the
for
conditions
real?
of my parole.
Okay, what are you
So-
on parole for?
So
Just general.
okay, so I did a slew of numerous terrible things. The most heinous of them was a second-degree child endangerment, where I distributed photos of child pornography.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
How much time did you do?
I did 7 years for that. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
you create the market for it.
yeah,
That's what you do when you do that.
yeah.
Welcome back to the People's Court. The plaintiff says he rented a basement apartment from the defendant, told that he had to leave because the place was sold and he couldn't get his security back. But the plaintiff just explained how he spent 7 years in prison for child pornography. Will his prior legal issues play a role in this case? Let's go back into the courtroom.
So the deposit in this case is $990, correct? There's no question about that.
No.
All right. You have kept the deposit because
I tried to reach out to him to say, let's figure it out, and then the modems were missing
okay, what modems were missing?
from the internet that he's not allowed to have. So I didn't know anything about his past. I just let him move in,
Okay.
so my bad. And I
Wait, but whose modems were they?
they belonged to the cable company and they were under my name.
And why are there two modems downstairs and not
Well,
one?
There was one downstairs and there was one upstairs. I'm not too familiar.
Okay.
So I went to turn in my boxes and they said, where are the modems? I'm not really familiar with all this.
Okay, so how do you know he stole them?
Well, I didn't. I just said that they're missing and you were the last one to see them, and he knew nothing.
How was he the last one to see them?
Because the house was emptied out and I just asked him if he had them. So I don't know where they went.
But you had movers going in there and stuff and moving your furniture and
But
all
I
that.
had everything of mine packed away, so, except for the
Do
stuff
you know
I
that
was
he
doing.
stole your modems?
No, I don't know
Okay.
exactly. I just
So
know that they were
you
missing.
can't keep money for modems
No,
that you don't know he stole. And then what's the other thing?
That I had to have the movers come in twice.
How
Because they
come?
came one day. He wouldn't move out until midnight.
Hold on. They came one day, and what is that day?
And
what
he
number?
didn't want anything moved.
December what?
On December 31st, I guess it
And then the
was.
second day that they came was what
And
day?
then they could then he allowed them to move the stuff.
So they just had to come back
So
on
they
the
had
same
to come
day?
back.
That's
So they
it?
charged me an extra
All
$100.
right, now according to you, they came on the 27th of December, and you said
Yes.
absolutely not.
Yes.
Because I still live here and I paid the month of December.
And I do have that text.
Okay,
Your Honor,
yeah.
I just wanted to get my stuff out, not his. And then he
Right.
said, I'm not moving out till midnight on, New Year's Eve, basically.
Well,
So-
wasn't it New Year's Eve though, that day?
Yeah, but
Okay,
he wouldn't
so
move
he
out till
just said,
that
I'm
day.
not moving out till midnight.
Till that night. I'm
Okay,
like, okay.
and isn't he right? Because he paid rent technically
to
until
some
midnight?
degree, I just wanted to get my stuff out. That's all.
Well,
I
then get
wanted
your
to do.
stuff out. It doesn't matter. I don't understand why you keep saying that. Your stuff is under your control. You can go ahead and get it out. So how did he stop you from
He
getting
didn't
your?
want anything. Didn't want anything moved because it was a furnished apartment, and I just wanted
Okay,
to
all
get
right.
a few
Listen
things
to me.
out.
Listen to me. Listen. The furniture that he doesn't want out is the one in his apartment.
Some of it and some of it, yeah, was my stuff. And
Yes, I know. Your stuff in his apartment, he would not allow to be taken out, just in his apartment. But everything that you had in your part of the house, you could move.
Yes.
Okay, so he just said, and you claimed that both trips were on the same day, but they're not. Hey, Rob, I got some moving guys over here today, so we're going to be moving some stuff. That's on December 28th. To which you say, No, I need to live and I'd paid rent. So it's 3 days before, which is consistent with what you said in your answer to the complaint, is the first time your moving guys come. And then the second time your moving guys come is the 31st, correct?
Yes, I believe
And
so.
it's the middle of the day on the 31st, not the end of the day. All right, so now why are you keeping his deposit?
I try to make, because I have to pay, because I had to pay for the movers twice.
Oh, no, but you got to tell me why he doesn't get his deposit that he's supposed to get back. Things have to be his fault. You had to pay the movers twice because you were precipitous. You don't get to rent a place out for December, have him pay full rent for December, and move stuff a minute before midnight. So if they have to come twice, tough.
It was, and then I guess with I didn't know anything about his background, so I guess I was
Did you
a little
ask?
bit. No, I didn't ask. I didn't want to know, but it kind of it expedited me wanting him to leave. I have grandkids, and
Oh, excuse you. You just heard this for the first time in my
No,
court.
I know all about it. We Googled him.
Oh, when did you? You could have Googled him before you moved him in.
I didn't. I'm not really a high tech guy.
That's not high tech.
No, now I know how to do it.
That is not high tech Googling. All right. Why else are you keeping his money?
I made a deal that I would give him back, but I think I'm entitled to having some back for the extras.
Right. I need you to give me legal reasons that you can keep his deposit.
I wasn't
One
trying
of
to
them
keep
is
it
the
all. Just
movers.
part
That
of it.
one's
The
wrong. And what else do you have?
The movers and.
I think one of the things you said was that he left a mess behind.
Yes, and I had to have somebody clean up. There was a lot of garbage.
Okay, do you have a
just slewed
receipt for
around.
whatever mess he left behind?
No, it's just a local
Do you
cleanup guy.
have a picture of anything he left
I didn't
behind?
know. I didn't know we were going to court, Your Honor.
You knew you were going to keep his deposit. Did you?
No, I didn't.
mean, when you stop a second. When you look and you say, "My God, what a mess he left," what do you think's going to happen? All right, did you leave a mess behind?
I left the stuff that was in the apartment when I moved in there.
Okay, and is that a mess? Why do you say that way? What do you mean?
Well, because there were some things that were in there when I moved in there. So, for example, when I moved in, the previous tenant had a bunch of like sauces, like fish sauce. The reason why I bring up the fish sauce because that was when his movers came in, they actually broke that. So anything that was the previous tenants, it was left in there, and I did not take that out.
You're supposed to take out anything that, isn't furniture, whatever, but that's fine. So you have anything else that you're keeping the rent for?
No,
The
just
security
that.
deposit?
And I was prepared to pay him back some money, but I just thought I was entitled to something for the added expense of me.
Of the movers, but you're wrong though.
No,
Why
the
would you-
movers and the cleaners, they had to.
Can you prove it all that you spent any money on?
No, it's just local people that I
Doesn't
help
matter.
out.
People get receipts with local people. I don't even
Yeah,
know
it
what that
was
means. You
just-
got to be able to prove things.
I didn't-
To me or to him.
I wasn't
When you keep a
prepared
guy's
for that.
money, you got to be able to prove things to him.
Yeah, I
All
could
right,
get
I'm
one
ordering
in
you
the
to
future.
return the entire $990. Verdicts for the plaintiff.
So the plaintiff proves his case, and Mr. Taylor, you're going to have to give him his money back, $990. What do you think?
I guess is what it is. But,
Well, I mean, he paid rent
he paid rent, but
till a month. You should have planned your move on January 1st.
it's hard to get movers
Yeah,
and whatever. it
January
is.
2nd.
And the fact that he's a pedophile, I wanted them out as soon as possible. And I
You
just
didn't even know
couldn't-
that.
Oh, I did know it. But I didn't know it till after the fact. So.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right. You're going to give him his money back, and that's it.
I
Okay?
guess that's it. Okay.
Thank you very much. You must sign some documents.
Do that here, sign a document.
Sign a few documents out there. Yep, that's it. All right, sir, the plaintiff, Mr. Gunderson, you're on your way out of the courtroom. I mean, how much did you think about filing a lawsuit against him to get your money back? Was it a big decision or not?
It was a big decision for me because I've never had a court rule in my favor before. And, I felt wrong, but at the same time, I don't want him to go through any troubles because I don't know if he got evicted or what the issue was there. But
Well,
still.
you were right. You mean you had the apartment till midnight that night?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
So
true.
I felt that I was in the right. So I decided to see, because anyways, I should have got some money and it wasn't
Well,
right that he was ignoring me.
You're going to get it all back. Okay.
I definitely appreciate that.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
All
You
right,
signed
thank you.
some documents on your way out. And that's it, Harvey.
I got to tell you, whenever you have some kind of an open issue, keep all of your receipts in a drawer and keep those receipts for at least 4 years.